Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea Tranquility. Welcome to pick 28 of my 30 favorite progressive rock albums of the 70s. We've got 30 days here in the month of June 2023. I am counting down my 30 favorite prog rock albums from the 70s with a maximum of, can only pick 3 albums from any one band. Right, trying to keep it real here, trying to keep it from being all about 5 bands or 6 bands from the decade, right? So trying to limit that as much as possible. But yes, we have some great bands who had way more than 3 albums that were fantastic in this decade, but limiting to 3 picks for any one band. And today we're going to take a look at another British band. Gee, what a surprise! This is their second album. It was released March 1st, 1974, recorded at Island Studios in London, Decca Studios in London, and AIR Studios in London, produced by David Hitchcock for Durham Records. Of course, I'm talking about Mirage by Camel. Get the kind of blurry looking camel image on there, right? Because that, of course, is the image as seen through the heat of the desert, right? How when you look at a very hot place, you see like this kind of blurred image, things in the distance. I think that's what they were going for here. A fantastic album from Camel. It's my favorite Camel album. And of course, it features the lineup of none other than Andrew or Andy Latimer on guitars and vocals and flute, Peter Bardens on organ, piano, Mini Moog, Mellotron, Fender electric piano, otherwise known as the Fender Rhodes, Hohner clavinet, Celesta also sings vocals, Doug Ferguson on bass, and Andy Ward on drums. Now, Camel, an interesting band when you look at like the history of classic prog in the 70s. Camel, not quite one of the big bands, but definitely alongside like yesterday's pick, Van der Graaf Jenner. I think Camel were part of that kind of like that second tier of the top bands of the decade. Never really achieved the success of bands like ELP and Yes and Jethro Tull and Pink Floyd and Genesis, but Camel were a fairly consistent seller, like I said, on that next tier. Very well respected band, very melodic band. Did their fair share of instrumentals as well as songs with vocals later on in the decade, and certainly into the 80s. Most of their music became very, very vocal oriented, but early on, at least the first few albums, a lot of instrumental songs. Soaring guitar playing of Andy Latimer, loads of great keyboards from Mr. Bardens. Just a really, really sensational band that were very, very different from all the others. Very different. They didn't do, they weren't big on these uber complex epic arrangements like Yes. They didn't go overboard with the big Mellotron soundscapes like a King Crimson or a Genesis. They weren't nearly as bombastic as like an ELP, but they kind of had their own thing, right? Like good pop melodies and, the kind of bluesy, melodic, very tasty guitar solos from Andy Latimer, who was often kind of linked to a guy like David Gilmour from Pink Floyd, that sort of thing. And just really cool melodies. Really, really good band. And this is, to me, a really sensational album because I think it brings together all that I really like about Camel. It starts off with a great song called Free Fall, which actually kind of rocks. They didn't do a lot of really rockin' stuff, but I would have loved to have heard them do a little bit more in this vein. Free Fall's a terrific track. Like I said, it's got some really good guitar work from Mr. Latimer. Excellent stuff. Then you have the short and kind of quirky Super Twister little instrumental. That's also quite good. Then, of course, is the White Rider, which is 9 minutes and change broken into 3 parts. That's a terrific, terrific little epic. They did some early on, they did these like kind of like little mini suites and things like that, which I think if you go to their next album, The Snow Goose, I think the stuff that they were doing on this album was a great precursor to the big long form multi-part kind of thing on the next album. But White Rider is tremendous. Then you have another instrumental which is called Earthrise. Again, some great guitar soloing from Andy Latimer, wonderful keyboards from Peter Bardens. Terrific stuff. But then perhaps the best song on the album, depending on your preference, that is Lady Fantasy. Again, another 3-part epic, just under 13 minutes long. just terrific the way the band takes you through all these twists and turns throughout the album. That's what progressive rock is all about, right? It's keeping your attention with these long form compositions, with the exceptional instrumental interplay from all the members, but again, specifically Latimer and Bardens with the guitars and keys, and I don't want to understate too, there's some nice use of flute from Andy Latimer on this album as well, which adds that nice little touch, right? So yeah, that's my and again, just about 38 minutes long. So that's what a lot of these albums were back in the day. They were nice and compact and concise. So there you have it. Mirage by Camel is my pick for today. Let us know what you think of Mirage down in the comments below, as well as your pick for today. Pick number 28, of course, tomorrow is number 27, and we'll continue doing this till we get to number 1 all the way at the end of the month on the last day of June, until we move into another fun month-long thing next month. So thanks for watching, everybody. Stay tuned for the UK Connection coming up in just a couple short hours here on the channel. Simon Bray and Stephen Reed and myself will be ranking the songs on a classic album. That classic album is Queen's A Night at the Opera. And then stay tuned tomorrow for ranking the albums. I will be ranking the short catalog of the Joe Perry Project by popular demand. We've had lots of people ask for this, so that's coming up tomorrow. And then, of course, Monday, we kick off the work week with the Hudson Valley Squares. So thanks for watching, everybody. I'm Pete Pardo. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alerted of all of our content as it posts. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also, visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube all together all the damn time. Again, please click that like button. And down below, we've also got the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations as well as our merch page. So thanks in advance for all your support there. And we'll see you tomorrow with another of my favorite 30 progressive rock albums of the 70s. Till then, I am Pete Pardo. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.